Well, good evening. Really good this evening to be in your companies. Welcome again to Phenomenal Leadership. I'm your friend, Bishop elect Edlin Scott, and I'm really excited about the opportunity to share with you once again. I want you to reach out to somebody, let them know that we're live. And tonight we're going to be talking about action speaks louder than words. Actions speak louder than words. I'm sure at one point or another in your life, you've heard somebody says, actions speak louder than words. What are they really saying? That's what we're going to talk about tonight. Tonight. So, reach out to somebody. I want you to like and share the broadcast across your platforms so that as many persons can benefit from the word that we want to share in this session of Phenomenal Leadership. Now, we add twice a week. We add on Thursdays, Tuesdays, and Thursdays. So, this is the beginning of our week. And then, of course, again, we're going to be seeing on Thursday at 9 p.m. for another session of Phenomenal Leadership. Really excited about bringing this to you week after week. I want to be able to help you. I want to be able to make you stronger in your leadership quest. Every one of us can be a person of influence. And that's what leadership is all about. Leadership is all about influence. Influence. Nothing more, nothing less, says John Maxwell. So, actually, I'm headed to Inagua. I'm going to be in Inagua on the 22nd of this month. The 22nd, the 23rd, the 24th, and then we come back home on the 25th. And then on the 25th kicks off our general convention, our 40th year of convention. So I'm going to be with Pastor Major there in at Eagle's Nest, at Eagle's Wing, there in Inagua. And so we're going to be a part of the services. On that Friday night, they're going to be having a banquet honoring the man of God there. And then on Sunday at 11 o'clock, it's a commissioning service. And so I'm going to be a part of all of that. So those of you in Inagua, I'm headed your way. So look out for us. Be with us in the service at Eagle's Wing, Pastor Major. And let's hear what it is that God is going to be saying. Those of you that are watching, I want you to pray for us. That God will give us traveling mercies to get us down there and then bring us back. All right? So we look forward to it. So what are we going to be talking about? In fact, listen, I need to say this. Tomorrow, Thursday night, we're still going to be planning to go live if we can do it. But we start our Holy Week service, and we're going to have 4 speakers on Thursday night, and then our Good Friday service starts at 11 a.m. on Friday. So it's really a great time in the Lord. And then, of course, our Easter Sunday morning sunrise service at 7 a.m. I'm conducting that service. And then, of course, at 10:30, Apostle is doing that one. And then 6:45 in the evening, both of those Apostle is going to be dealing with them. So, you've heard the saying. I'm sure you've heard the saying. Action speaks louder than words. You've heard the saying. Action speaks louder than words. You know, I've always been under the impression that communication really was all about your mouth. What comes out of your mouth. So that was always my perception. That communication was what you say. And as I mature, I come to realize that the words that we say may represent about 10% of the communication that comes out from us. The words out of our mouth may represent about 10% of the communication that we convey to people on a day-to-day basis. So, people learn more from you than what they see than what you say. In fact, people see you before they hear you. And in a lot of cases, by the time as you would have spoken, people would have already drew a conclusion on you, assessed you up and down, and trying to figure out who you are, or made a conclusion on who you are. So, is it that your actions are speaking too loud, or they're not speaking loud enough? Because your action can either carry the conversation over, or your action can stop the conversation. Your action can either be a benefit to the conversation, or it can take away from the conversation. So, how loud is your actions? Are they loud enough? Because remember now, tonight we're talking about actions speak louder than words. So we're talking about action speaks louder than words. So, is your actions loud enough? Is it, are you getting the desired effect? And that's something that you need to think about. Okay. When we talk, people listen. When we respond, I was talking to somebody today, no, maybe it was yesterday. I was talking to them about how that as leaders, we hold people to a higher standard than we do ourselves. What do you mean by that? If you grade yourself at a 4, or you grade yourself at a 5, but everybody else in your circle, you grade them at a 6 or 7, that's not fair. As a leader, if you hold people to a 6 or 7, you should be held to that same standard. Just how you can have a reason why you don't do what you need to do, they also can have that reason why they don't do what they need to do. But sometimes we close ourselves to hear what their reasons are, but we want people to hear what our reasons are. So you got to be very careful at that. You got to be very careful at that. Because you can always find a reason to justify your actions. You could always find a reason. You could always make it sound good, but is it the right thing to do? So, your words are on display and your actions are on display. I was talking to somebody today and I said, we were talking about a friend of ours. And I said to them, I said, listen, our friend will never tell us no. But our friend still wouldn't do what we asked them to do. So, in that case, that really speaks to the action speaking louder than their words. And there's no integrity in that, because integrity means what you say, what you do. What you do is what you say. So there must be a level of integrity. But we have this friend that no matter what you tell them, ask them to do, they said, okay, got it. You ask them, is it okay? Is that going to be okay for you? Yeah, man, that's okay. That ain't no problem. But they still don't get it done. And so the loudness then of their action really boils down to the fact that, hey, that's not what they want to do. Even though they may not have the guts to tell you, I don't want to do this. The reality is, communication goes far beyond words. What you communicate with your body will go far beyond your words. Um, you could ask someone to do something and they'll tell you yeah. And you could look at either their body language or different things about them to determine they really don't want to do it. They only say yeah, either because, like we say, you follow leaders because you have to, not because you want to. Your parents ask you to do something, you do it because you have to, not because you want to. So, communication, your communication. And if in fact, my theory is right, and if in fact your movements, your actions are 90% of your communication, and then your words are only 10%, I think that you have to pay more attention to your actions than you do of your words, because your action speaks 9 times more than your words. Your action speaks 9 times more than your words. So when someone asks you something, your eyes have to say, if you say yes, your eyes have to say yes. Your head have to say yes. Your body have to say yes. Your hands, everything about you have to say yes. So if you ask someone to do something, and they kind of drag them off and go do it, or look like they don't want to do it, or when I get to it kind of attitude, that is speaking something contrary to what you say. So your actions goes way beyond your words. Your words are a form of communication, and your actions are also a form of communication. What is your action displaying? What is your actions communicating to people? Someone asks you to do something and you make up your face. But I say I can do it, but what you show in your face shows something kind of different. Your action is more important in winning others' trust than your words. Remember now, in order for you to lead your dream team, there must be a connection. You can't make a connection with your dream team if your actions, if your 90% is in total opposite of where your 10% is projecting. If I say we're heading downtown and you're heading away from downtown, I will quickly get the impression you ain't going downtown, or you're going the long way. Your message must be more than just a message. It must have values. When your actions is harmonized with your words, then values, because remember we said the words are 10% and the actions are 90%. So if you have a 90% majority saying let's do the job, then that 10% makes a difference, but not a huge one. How can you intentionally assure that your communication goes beyond your words? There is a discipline that has to be exercised. There is you have to control your entire body. And there is something I think in law enforcement called profiling, where there is a certain way that you look when you're lying. There's a certain way you look when you're telling the truth. There are certain things that happens when you lie. If you're on the lie detector, when you tell a lie, then your heart rate kind of beats up a little bit. So they can tell that that's a lie. And so there's something called profiling where certain things that you do. I will guarantee you this. If you ever go to the border where you got to go through customs and you go through this sweating in all the air condition, they will stop you and question you longer than someone that's not sweating. Because sweating is also a tell sign that something is off. So you gotta kind of watch out for that. One of the things I've learned a long time ago is that anybody that can look you dead in your eyes and lie to you, that's a dangerous person. Very dangerous person. Because you can pretty much hide a lot of feelings on a lot of different parts of your body except your eyes. Your eyes always tell the truth. And if you could control your eyes where you could look somebody dead in the eye and lie to them and not tell them the truth, then you're powerful. You're really powerful. So, how can you intentionally ensure that your communication goes beyond your words? The more you go beyond words, the greater chance you have of connecting with people. The more involved your actions are with your words, the quicker you can connect with people. I don't know why people feel that people cannot tell or sense sincerity. People can. People can tell whether you're serving from a spirit of servanthood or you're just serving because you're going to get paid for it, or it's just something to do. People can tell when you give them that you're giving from a sincere heart or from a sincere place. People can tell. People can tell. I always have this problem that if you're going to do something for me, don't tell me but all of them stories that we got to tell. Now if you didn't do this, you wouldn't have been there. And they give you a whole lecture. They give you a whole lesson. Take you through your entire life, thinking that speech is going to change your life dramatically. You're going to become a different person at the end of that speech. So, the more involved your actions are, the more convincing or the more connection you're going to have with people. And to get anything done, remember a couple of weeks ago we talked about get into the head, touch the heart, and you activate the hand. So relationship begins with get in the head, touch the heart, to activate the hand. If you want people to work with you, you got to get in their head so you can touch their heart so that you can activate their hand. If you cannot get in their head, you won't be able to touch their heart. You can't touch their heart to get in their head. There must be an in. To get to the heart, you have to either see it. You see it, then you desire it. You hear it, then you desire it. You smell it or taste it, then you desire it. So there must be a gateway. So the gateway gets in the head, then the brain connects you with it, so you get to the heart. And the heart feels committed to it. the heart feels loyal to it, the heart feels a part of it, and therefore the hand gets to working. So, connecting with people is very important. Your end game is always connecting with people. Your end game is always how I can help somebody. That's your only mission. The only reason you're here is to help somebody. The only reason you are getting is to help somebody. What you're getting is not to make you better, it's to make them better. So God gave it to you because you have more wisdom to distribute it properly. So you're only the channel. You're only the channel. God asked for the child's lunch, the 2 fish and the 5 loaves of bread. He blessed it. He gave it to the disciples, not for themselves, but he gave it to share it out. So, you got to be able to connect with people. And you stand a greater chance when what you say, your 10%, is harmonized or parallel, walking in the same direction as your 90%. So, the reality is, you have to get your walk together before you get your talk together. You have 9 chances of failing, but with your speech, you only have 1. So you got to get your entire walk together. When you get your entire walk together, then you structure your speech, because then your speech comes out of your heart. But when your speech comes forward first, and then your body has to connect with what you speak, that's a little more challenging. All right, so let's dig into more. Whether you are speaking to an individual, a group, or a large audience, connecting is your key to truly making an impact in people's lives. If you're not connecting with people, I always believe no matter what and how great your message is, no matter how great what it is that you have to share, if people ain't listening, it doesn't make sense to say anything until you get people's attention. It doesn't make sense to start doing stuff until you connect with somebody. You got to connect. When you connect, then you start. Until you connect, just keep trying to connect. In order to connect, it must not be about what you want. Connection comes easier when you figure out what they want. Remember now, you want to connect with them, not necessarily they want to connect with you. So it's important for you to find out what it is they want. What is it they're looking for? What is it that they're desiring? So as a leader, we always want to create the environment where we can live in. But what's important for leadership is to create an environment that they can live in. If you're at the top of the food chain, you should be able to adjust yourself. If I go to somebody's house and they're sitting on crates, I don't want the chair, I want the crate too. If they're drinking their tea out of the plastic cups, you don't have to give me the ceramic cup. Give me a plastic cup too. Something that I find that is very effective for me, because it may not be effective for you, but I'll tell you about it. When I counsel people, I like for us to be on the same level. So I like to come from behind my desk and sit out front where you are, so that it can be you're sending it across the desk to me. So already you walk in the room feeling inferior because I am behind the desk. I am in the decision-making seat. you are my loyal, you are my subordinates. No, make people feel comfortable. Make people feel comfortable. Listen, one of the weaknesses is not knowing who you are. What someone thinks of you doesn't change who you are. Even if people miss who you are, it still doesn't change who you are. So connecting with people is really your end game. End game. In order to hit success, you got to connect. You got to connect with people. So let's get there. Now, using the right words with the right emotions. And this is what I call it. This is what I call it. I call it talking right and walking left. Talking right and walking left, your actions are not speaking louder than your words. So if you talk right, you got to walk right. You can't walk left. See, the left is still a walk, but it's in the wrong direction. So whatever you talk, you got to be prepared to walk. So using the right words with the right emotions while being intellectual or intellectually convincing and making the right visual impression makes a successful communication. Your big words, your great presentation is only as good as your visual presentation, your action, your visual actions. And that's why television is more powerful than radio. Because radio offers you audio, the words, but television offers you the words and the actions. So, and that's why television has a more powerful connection. If you find you 10 persons right now, and you says, I got a television, I got a radio, which one you rather? Like the old people would say, which one you rather? The average person is going to say, well, the television, except they're the old people who just want to hear the news. And so, television overpowers radio because television involves the 10% of words and that 90% of actions. So, the moving of the hand, the gestures, the moving of the body, the opening the eyes. As a public speaker, you learn to use your gestures. I mean, you can overwork them, but you learn to use them in your speech because people connect quickly. If I'm talking about passion, or if I'm talking about a sad story, right? To see tears coming down my eyes, it just draws people into the story. If I'm talking about excitement, there got to be some life in the body, so it adds excitement to it. So all of these things are a good part of it. So your intellectual presentation, as well as your verbal or visual presentation, very, very important. Now, your 90% has to have energy. Your actions has to have energy. If you're going to connect with people, if you're going to be a person of influence, you have to be a person of energy. Now, I mean, I'm trying to be critical because some people are just dry and dead. I mean, but you must find that energy. You got to find that energy. Connecting always requires energy. No other way. And I, if I be lifted up above the earth, and I, if I be lifted up above the earth, I will draw all men unto me. I will draw all men unto me. If I be lifted up. If I be lifted up. What think about it? If I, on the ground. See, Bishop said this, and you know, it makes for good preaching. He says, the devil made a mistake when he lifted Jesus up. If he had leave the cross on the ground, think about this. If the cross was on the ground, only the persons near enough would have been able to see Jesus. But the devil made a mistake by lifting Jesus up. And when he lifted him up and more people were able to see him. So the energy of lifting him up exposed him to more people. If you want connecting with people, you gotta be able to bring that energy in the room. Okay, so here we go. Let's look at 5 practical ways to connect with people as a leader. 5 practical ways to connect with people. Number 1, and I'm wrapping up. Number 1, always find a common ground. Always find a common ground. Stop always thinking about what's best for you. Find out how they like the water and adjust yourself to how they like the water. If I am bringing a message to you and everything is only geared around my comfort, you're not going to come in the room. So always find a common ground to connect. If you want to connect with you, always find a common ground. Find out where they are and make yourself comfortable there. Number 2, work hard on keeping things simple. Because as leaders, we can talk straight over people's head. It has to be simple. It has to be simple. Keep things simple so you can connect. Keep it as simple as possible. John Maxwell says, keep the cookies low enough that everybody can reach them. Everybody's entitled to a piece of the cookie. But if you have it so high that only the ones who've been to UB could get it, then the ones who just came out of high school can't get it. The ones who dropped out in junior school can't get it. The ones who came out in primary school, they definitely can't find it. So you always keep it simple enough that everybody can find that. You don't want to be listening to a speech where you have to think really hard to figure out what in the world the preacher talking about or the presenter is talking about. It has to be simple. Always keep it simple. When you're communicating, you always keep it simple so that everybody can grasp it. You want, when you said it the first time, everybody in the room understood and could click right into it right away. Not just the specialist and no. Keep it simple. Number 3, create an experience that everybody enjoys. Create an experience that everybody enjoys. Not just you and your friend who's been together for years. Okay, so y'all were together when the business was only 2 persons. Then as the business grew to 25 persons, you all were there. Now it's hundreds of people, you all were there. When the church first started, it was you all 3. Now it grew. Always keep it where everybody can feel a part. When everybody feel a part, then everybody feels connected. People thrive better in an environment where they feel a part. They feel needed. They feel useful. They feel important. Number 4, say things to inspire the listeners. You don't come to the meeting to get inspired. You come to the meeting inspired and geared up to inspire others. I'm going to look around the room to find something to inspire me. Too late. You have to come there fired up. And if I be lifted up above the earth, I will draw all men unto me. Number 5, have integrity. Live what you are saying. Whatever it is that you're saying, live it. Because someone is watching. People no longer just take what you say. They watch what you do. People no longer just take what you say. They watch what you do. So let's go to 5 things very quickly. Number 1, always find a common goal. ground. Always find a common ground. Number 2, work hard to keep things as simple as you can. Number 3, create an experience where everyone can enjoy it. Everyone, man. Everyone, every single person must enjoy it. Number 4, say things that inspires the listener. That's what you need. Every day you need to be thinking of things. Every day you need to be thinking of things to inspire people. I was talking to a friend of mine tonight, and I said to them, I said, look, everybody's being beaten down. Everyone is being pushed down. Everyone is just being taken advantage of or taken for granted. Where is that person that will identify the hurting and say, let me see if I can inspire you. Let me see if I can help you. Everyone can identify the wrong, but there are few people that can identify the right. So, say things to inspire the listeners. Then have integrity. Live whatever it is that you speak. Your audience will get only what you put into it. Only what you put into it, they're going to get out of it. Your team is only going to be as great as you are. And if you want greatness from them, you have to bring greatness to the table. If you want to attract greatness, you have to become great. Ain't nobody want to be a part of nobody who... You know what looks funny? Someone in a circle that really shouldn't be in the circle. If you want to attract basketball players, you got to learn how to play basketball, or at least learn how to talk the game. Or you ain't going to attract none of them. If you want to attract Shawnee and Stephen Gardner, you have to understand track. If you don't understand track, they're probably not going to come in your circle. If they come in your circle, they just come, take a picture, and then they be gone. But if you could talk some track talk, then their meeting with you will be a little longer. You could talk some track talk. Say something about track. I mean, understand something about track. But you don't even know nothing about track. You know, you ain't got to look like a track star. You just got to understand the conversation. Listen, I'm always out of time, and not out of words, but I'm out of time. Certainly, I thank God so much for everyone that's been watching. Action speak louder than words was the topic that we used tonight. Join us on Thursday. If service gets out in time, we'll have another session on Thursday, and we'll be talking again about phenomenal leadership. Those of you got relatives in Inagua, I'm headed to Inagua. Hey, and I'm going to bring my brand new book. I got a brand new book called How to Be Great. I'm going to take it with me to Inagua. I'm going to be at Eagle's Wings with Pastor Major on Friday night at the banquet, and then I'm preaching on Sunday morning at 11 o'clock in Inagua. Is there a word from the Lord? Yes, there is a word from the Lord. Love you, love you, love you. I want y'all to enjoy the rest of your evening. It's been a beautiful one, and it's going to continue to get better. God bless you. Good night.